Just League, released in 2017, was directed by Zack Snyder. Then, the man's daughter tragically committed suicide, forcing him to step down from the project, and Joss Whedon to take over as director. Not only does he take over as director, but the studios allow him to reshoot 90% of what Zack Snyder has already done. Yeah, when someone's child dies, that's the proper way to show him respect. Just reshoot everything. Now, I'm not gonna let a tragedy alter my opinion on this guy's work. I don't think Zack Snyder is a very good director. He's directed half of the DCEU, and out of those two movies, at least I can say, he's consistent in tone. Let's recap real quick. Man of Steel is a loud, overblown mess of a movie filled to the brim with CGI nonsense and mind-numbing action sequences. Batman vs. Superman was a confusing clusterfuck that butchers amazing characters like Batman and Lex Luthor. Suicide Squad was an annoying, choppy-ass movie that has no coherent storyline or likable characters. Wonder Woman was the first movie that wasn't terrible, having fleshed out characters and a real story with an actual plot, and now we're here. And wow, what a fucking mess.
Oh no.
This movie cost more money to make than Infinity War, and I have no idea where any of it went. There's so much wrong with this movie. Now, I understand that the production was a nightmare, and honestly, that's probably why it sucks so much. It's clear that Zack Snyder and Joss Whedon just had conflicting visions, and the product feels like a Frankenstein's monster of a film. I'm gonna start out with the story. Steppenwolf is trying to steal all the mother boxes so he can destroy the world, so Batman and Wonder Woman work together to collect the Justice League and resurrect Superman to stop Steppenwolf from destroying the world. Yeah, polar opposite from Batman vs. Superman. This story is as basic and as first draft as they get. I can't help but feel that Zack Snyder's version of this movie would have been so much better. You can literally see where the reshots of this movie were done. Obviously, there's the mustache thing. Apparently, after Henry Cavill finished filming all of his scenes for Justice League, he grew out his mustache for Mission Impossible 6. Then, Joss Whedon came in and decided to reshoot everything, but the Mission Impossible producers were like, "You can't shave the mustache." So, the Justice League dudes were forced to spend $3 million to remove it digitally. I guess they could have had Superman run around with a mustache, but that would have looked stupid as shit. This though? Good God. You look me in the eye and you tell me that isn't obvious. And distracting. It's not just the mustache. There are several scenes throughout the movie that jump from original shots to the reshoot shots, and it's totally obvious they were filmed months apart. People's hair will be different in one shot than the last shot, and even the camera will be in a slightly different position. Anyone with eyes can notice this. The movie opens with iPhone footage of Superman, which is, totally not copying Spider-Man Homecoming at all. I don't know why it opens like this. He just says the same lines of dialogue that he said in Man of Steel, like, "Oh, the S on my chest is a symbol for hope."
It's my people's symbol for hope. Hope starts with an H, stupid.
Maybe I'd be able to appreciate this scene if I wasn't being distracted. I don't know what it is, but something's just throwing me off. Then we're treated to a sad, depressing opening credits. Yeah, this really goes with the bright tone of the rest of the movie. Oh look, it's Joss Whedon in a few years. Then bang, boom, explosions, action for 90 minutes, then roll credits. Nothing really happens. Say what you want about the first Avengers movie, but that's a good-ass motherfucking movie, alright? It was an event. We had 5 movies before it, and all of our characters were really fleshed out and understood already, with the exception of Hawkeye. Sure, it's not perfect. The whole thing is lit like a TV movie. Captain America's suit is stupid. It's not super rewatchable anymore, but nothing will ever compare to the first time I saw that movie in theaters. It's a very great comic book film, and it does its job well. It's so obvious that Justice League is doing everything they can to copy off of Marvel's success. I mean, come on. They even hired the guy who directed the Avengers to do the reshoots for this movie. This is gonna lead me into my next problem with it. The characters. So in the MCU, we've had 5 okay movies leading up to the Avengers. Enough to get us excited at least, but the Avengers was definitely the best thing in Phase 1. That's because each character had their own respected movie prior to the 2.5-hour team-up movie. Justice League is only 2 hours long, and it has to use up a lot of that runtime to establish characters that haven't been properly introduced until now. The only characters with their own movies before this are Superman and Wonder Woman. and I mean, I guess Batman, who I'll discuss first. I thought I hated him in Batman vs. Superman, but whoa, he's so much worse here. There is no darkness like he had in the last movie. He looks like a fucking gummy bear. They constantly show him in the daytime. Also, I just really don't like Ben Affleck as Batman. Give me back Christian Bale. Where's Michael Keaton? Wonder Woman is probably the best character in this movie. That being said, she still sucks. Gal Gadot, she hasn't quite figured out how to act.
Why? Because of your guilt?
Give her a couple more movies. She'll get it down eventually. She still fucking poses all the time. And there's even a moment where she appears to still be sad over Steve Trevor's death. I guess the screenwriters don't understand that 100 years has happened between this and Wonder Woman. The movies came out a few months apart from each other, so that means she's still not over it. Aquaman. This is just a huge fucking joke to me. Everyone knows Aquaman as this blonde, dorky, fucking mermaid man looking motherfucker. So they're overcompensating by casting Jason Momoa, this monster of a man, and they try to play him off as badass. You're not supposed to laugh. This isn't your grandpa's Aquaman. This is for teenagers, dude. Look at him litter. Aren't you endangering the lives of your family right now, man? Like, literally, like, just the more badass they try to make Aquaman look, the stupider he looks. Then Mira shows up, because Amber heard a noise. The Flash. He's here to be the comedic relief, but he isn't funny at all.
You must be Barry. I'm Diana.
Hi, Barry. I'm Diana. That's not right.
Oh, I can eat a lot of pizza, cause I burn a lot of calories, cause I be running really fast all the time. They try to do the slowing time effect like Quicksilver in X-Men Days of Future Past, but they add all these lightning effects around him to, I don't know, make it look stupider? Cyborg. Meh. He's sad a lot because he feels like a freak because he's 95% terrible CGI. That's about it. Oh look, there's fucking Lois Lane and Martha. Two of the most interesting characters from Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman. Also in this movie.
It was hard coming back here at all.
Well, yeah, by now you've starred in Arrival and American Hustle. I can imagine it's pretty hard coming back here. Watch how this bitch reacts to her son coming back from the dead. Oh yeah, lots of emotion there, Martha. It's so fucking dumb. Finally, the villain, Steppenwolf. Why is it that all these DCEU villains either want to destroy Earth, are overacted buffoons, or are overacted buffoons who want to destroy Earth? I will find him! Oh wow, he wants to get a box that'll destroy the world. I wonder if he'll actually do it. Or do you think the Justice League are gonna foil his plan? So right off the bat, you notice he's 100% CGI, so already there's a disconnect. Going back to the Avengers for a minute, Loki is an example of a great villain. For one, he's played by a human. It's just a guy. There's no CGI. But more importantly, he's very funny and likable.
How will your friends have time for me when they're so busy fighting you?
I am a god, you dull creature, and I will not be bullied by
Whenever he's on screen, it adds something else to the movie. Like another layer. He's not just the villain, he's also a character within himself. Another villain I want to discuss is Thanos, who is 100% CGI. First off, he's much better looking and much more polished than Steppenwolf. The VFX team truly did an amazing job there, with less of a budget than Justice League, so hey, nice. Also, they took time to really incorporate Josh Brolin's facial expressions with Thanos's, so it felt natural. Steppenwolf is a dull blob of nothing. A cartoon, really. Did anyone out there truly think he's a good villain? If so, please leave a comment explaining why. He isn't entertaining or scary, and I genuinely want to know. Did I talk about Superman yet? All I really have to say about him is,
We call it the Must Stash. The slogan is, you must stash your mustache in the mustache. That'll be all for today. Good mustache. Good mustache.
and that's that. 3. The dialogue. There's lots of bad dialogue in this movie. Like, everything that comes out of Steppenwolf's mouth sounds like it came straight out of the early Marvel villain handbook that got thrown away 6 or 7 years ago.
After the unity, you will join my legion, and you will know the righteousness of power.
You hear that sentence? That sounded like a bunch of bad guy words put in a random sentence generator, and then they said, fuck it, that's good enough. Even the lack of dialogue sucks in this movie. Like here, come on dude, just say Martha. Just say Martha! Oh, and also, booyah. The humor. Have I mentioned that this movie copies Marvel? Well, I'm gonna do it again. They just gotta be super funny, don't they? Just like Marvel. Except, it's not funny.
Superman's a no-show. You got no powers, no offense. This guy might be working for the enemy, we don't know. And you know what? I don't want to die. Maybe I'm scared because I'm meant to...
Alright, there are 5 problems with that joke. 1, it's just not funny. 2, why would Wonder Woman leave that sitting around? 3, you mean to tell me he didn't notice this bright-ass glowing lasso whenever he sat down? 4, it was explained in Wonder Woman that it only activates when it's actually lassoing something, so it shouldn't even be working right now. And finally, look at this shot. There's no way he's covering that whole lasso. I know, I'm overthinking a joke, but you know, maybe I could have overlooked those flaws if it were funny, but the joke wasn't funny! This movie is riddled with stupid, unfunny humor, and it really just takes me out of it. Positives. I like this 5-second long scene when they're all fighting Superman after resurrecting him, and as the Flash is running, Superman locks eyes with him. That scene was pretty cool, I guess. But, yeah, 5 seconds is not enough to save this movie at all. In an after-credits scene, they then have Superman and the Flash race. And the fact that Superman is this fast kind of takes away what makes the Flash special. There's so many other things I could complain about, like how the last 30 minutes is yet another clusterfuck of CGI nonsense. How they waste so much screen time only showing this one Russian family, who the Flash just saves in the end.
Dostoevsky.
Or I could complain about that stupid fucking mustache some more. Nah, screw it. Justice League gets an F. This is the worst kind of superhero film made for the dumbest motherfuckers alive. If you're a kid or a young teen, you get a pass. But for all of you adults who like this movie, I don't want to be your friend. Yeah, Supergirl, Batman and Robin, they may be worse. But guess what? Movies like that don't get made anymore. This is the Batman and Robin of the 2010s.
I freeze.